Hi, I'm Emma. These screeners, these assessments, are to show you where the gaps are. And the purpose of doing this is so that you know what every child needs to learn. So it's important to do this in the first week of the new academic year. It's also important to do this with your new small group if you're working with older struggling children or new students that come into the school. You really need to get a really good idea of exactly how well they do with their code knowledge, with blending, segmenting, manipulation. So it's not just doing a reading test doesn't really tell you that much. You need to know why they're reading well or they're not, and to be able to know how well they're reading and spelling, we have to be able to check those underlying foundational skills. There's no point in doing an assessment to then file it away and right, here we've done an assessment. The assessment is so that you can say, right, this child recognizing the sound pick. So for example, they might see a made up word, supposing it's FLOB, and they might go f, all, ob, but then they don't know the word is flob because they can't blend. So all of the skills and concepts we need. So for example, if we're spelling, if we want to encode, the child needs to be able to hear those smaller parts in words and to be really organised in how they split them to be able to spell any word in the English language. So for example, if we're spelling fish, they need to know that it is f-ish. 3 speech sounds. So we do 3 lines. We actually put 1, 2, 3 underneath to help us with the ordering, with the segmenting. And then they make their choices to what goes on top. This also helps when they're just missing 1 or 2. So supposing, for example, they spelt the word boat, they might have put B-O-T because they're thinking B-O-T. And that's brilliant. They've heard the right number of speech sounds. They're choosing 3 sound picks, which is brilliant. It's just that the middle one is the wrong picture for that speech sound, which is why we're doing so much intensively at the beginning and why we introduce the clouds. So they've always got every spelling choice. Often with children, especially if they're already reading reasonably well, if you make sure they have those choices for spelling, then when you say, right, just try a different sound pick and they put it on, they'll tell you which looks right and which doesn't. If you don't have those visual clues up on the tools up on the wall and where they can access them all the time, for example, the spelling key rings, then you're really not helping them to be able to spell independently. It's on. You're going to be writing. One who holds with their right hand and one who holds with their left hand. Okay, so let's see, because part of today is going to be about listening really, really carefully. Okay, let's just get the first page. Okay. Now what I said, who knows what this is? Who thinks that's an S? Okay, and that's what most people think. What do you think this is? Somebody said an A and somebody said something else. Does someone say anything else? Someone said an O? Everybody said an A? Oh, let's see, what's this? T. Anyone think it's anything else? Sat. Somebody read a word. Who read it? How did you know that was sat?
I suppose it's S-A-T.
You
spell sat.
S-A-T spells sat. Well, anyone else know it for sat?
Yeah.
Anyone else do it in a different way?
I
What did you do? How did you know it was sat?
knew it was sat and I was going to read.
How did you know it was sat?
I know.
Anyone tell me, why did you think it was sat?
Because we spelled it.
We spelt it like that, but any other reason why that is sat? At the back, what do you think? Did you know it was sat? Why did you think it was sat?
I know.
know. If you just know, just say, I just knew. I'm that clever. What did you think?
I think I just knew.
You just knew. You just looked at the word and you just knew. Right, what do you think of when you look at this? First thing you think of?
P. Set up P.
First thing you think of?
P. I think it's P. I feel like
think of?
Pin.
Oh, so we saw a set, we saw a pin. How did you know it was pin?
Set up pin. Because it says pin.
Because it just says pin. Did you just know?
Yeah.
But you're not sure why?
It says set up pin.
Yes.
Because I sounded it out. I don't sound it out.
Oh my goodness, what does that mean? Sounded it out. What does that mean? What did you do? Let's pretend you can't see that word. What did you do? So when you said sounded it out, tell me what you did. What did you do on here? What did you look at first? You looked at the P, and what did you say? You said P. What did you say? Because you said sounded it out, and I wasn't sure what you meant.
I know.
What do you think?
Because P is head. Pin.
So P is
I spelled it like this. P-I-N.
P-I-N, and you just knew it was pin.
And then I put the I and N together, and then I put the P-I.
You put the I and the N together, so you
Put
went
in.
put in. Okay then, so we're all doing things very differently. Who can tell me what this word is? Let me think.
Rain.
How do you know that?
We know that because I know how to spell rain.
How do you know how to spell rain?
I just know that I know
Now, do you know if we're going to learn to be fantastic readers and spellers, we've got to know why. We've got to know at the end of this term when I say, why is it spelled like that? We've got to know
I
why.
knew it was spelled like that.
You just knew, and that's great, but we need to be able to explain it to an alien that comes down from a different planet and says, well, how on earth did you know how to do that? Because I didn't know that was rain. So we've got to teach an alien, and we might even teach
Elephant.
Ellie the elephant. We might even teach Ellie the elephant how to read and spell. What do you think? Now let me show you something I would say to Ellie the elephant. Could you hold Ellie the elephant for me, please? If we were to explain to Ellie the elephant, not a board rubber. Or just matter of your hands. I'm used to it, I don't care. Okay, I want to tell you a little trick. Can everybody in this class hear? Can everybody in this class speak? So if I said s, if I said if I said p, if I said j, if I said sh, you can say all those sounds because you can talk. So everybody's coming into this classroom already talking and already listening, which is wonderful. And do you know what that means? Do you know what that tells me? Everybody is going to be amazing readers and spellers at the end of this term. If we were to explain to an alien, we would say, what can you hear? You know if we had a magic camera, a magic speech sound camera, and when I go, I could take a picture of that sound with a magic speech sound camera, I would say to the alien, do you know what it might look like? It might look like that. So the alien doesn't know it's an S. The alien just knows, oh, that's a picture of. What's this a picture of? Take a picture. What's the picture of the sound? Well done. And do you know what I've got in here? Whoops. You might think it's a toy.
It's a magic.
You might think it's a baby camera, but it's not. It's a magic speech sound camera.
I got one of those.
All the sounds in the air that we hear, like when we go, if I was to take a picture with the speech sound camera, what might the picture look like when we put it on the board? What might it look like? Do you think the picture of Pert might look like that? Or it might look like that? Yes, so we use that when we want his name, so it's a P, because it's that one, isn't it? So what I need to check is if you were to teach the alien, I want to know if you know all the pictures of the sounds. So So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say some sounds, and on your piece of paper you're going to put a number 1 at the top. So you've got your name. Hold on. So you've got your name at the top, and I'm going to put Miss M, because that's my name. And I'm going to put another 1. Okay, I'm going to take some pictures with the speech sound camera. Who thinks, and everyone will know this one, and what I want to do is I want to know your answers, and I don't care if it's blank or if you get it wrong, I really don't care, I want to know yours. Okay, so even if you think, oh, I don't know that, don't look at the person next to you, I want to know yours. Okay? So the first one is, draw the picture for me. Well done. The next one is, now you're going to have to do it really fast because I'm going to be, the next one is A. The next one is, now if we could put them down like that, then we can keep them nice and neat. Can we do that? Yep. Well done. The next one is Ch. So we all knew the first one was this one because we looked at it. So go down like this because then we can start again on the next one. So we had Ch, then we had A, then we had T. Now we've got P. P. And if you're not sure, just put whatever you think. Put something.
What's number 4?
Then the next one is I.
What's number 4?
I. So it's A.
What's number 4?
P.
Huh? Huh?
No.
And the next one is I.
I need a one.
And the next one is I know, I'll just check everybody all together. So number 6 is but also nice. The next one is No, the first one was and the second one is Write down whatever you think.
What's number 6?
Number 6 was and number 7 was No, don't rub it out. Don't rub it out.
I've got an M.
That's okay, just put it. Just leave it. If you need to put another one, I don't mind. I just want to put, see, anything that you write to start off with. Okay, the next one we're doing is D. 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 So number 8 is D. Number 9 is G.
Do you
G. Number 9 is G. Don't look at the next person, I just want to know what you've done. G. And if you don't know, just put anything.
Do yours, Sanae, so
What
we
that
know what
smiley
you
face
know,
is not sure.
darling. Doesn't matter if you
And the
get them
next
wrong,
one
sweetheart.
is, just put a smiley face if you're not sure, I'll just try. And the next one is J. That's alright, then go on to the next one, then go on to the next one, keep going.
J.
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 So the next one, so number 10 is J.
I'm doing all of them capital,
Just put a letter of mine now. Now, do you know if you can think of more than one? Because some people might know there's 2 or 3. There might be some more than one for the sound. So if you know any more, just put them. Okay, the next one is O. Right, now we're going to speed up now, so you've got to keep up.
Oh, was it?
O.
Oh.
11. O. 12. Might know more than one cup. And the next one is E. Let's see what you draw for E. Oh, so 13 was E. Now in the next activity you're going to give them words. Tell them what the word is, write it on the board, and then they're going to copy it, but they're going to do a line underneath to show where the speech sound picks are and give the numbers. So if it was Matt, they'd underline the the A and the T and put the 1, 2, 3. Now when children have been taught consonant blends, so they've been taught frog or syllables or what have you, it can confuse the spelling brain. What we need is really clear, really simple. If it's blended together, keep it separate. So frog, f, o, g. And you'll see later on when I show you some clips of the children how they evolve into really confident readers and spellers. Part of it is because of how clearly we're splitting the speech sounds. It's really, really important. Now, because this is a class I didn't know, first of all, I'm just trying to ascertain if they have done any of this kind of work before. You can tell straight away if they have, because children will tell you the middle sound, the third sound, the first sound. They know exactly where to split the sounds. If I say lolly, what's the last sound? E, straight away. So just watch me sort of try and gather out where the children are at the moment and help them to be able to actually do the assessment.
And that's the smaller parts of the way we talk. So if I said sat, what would he say?
Nothing.
At. So he would do the speech sounds. He would go at, because he can't speak in whole words. So if he was to say apple, what do you think he might say?
Nothing.
Oh. Yes, he'd go apple. Oh. And what do you think if he had to train? Now, do we notice?
You want to keep going?
Do we notice that tell your teacher again what you would do if you did train? What would we do? So what we're going to do is we're going to go, even though true, we do say true, but true is just really just blended together. So we're going to go ain. So how many were there then? Ain. How many speech sounds?
What?
How many speech sounds? Listen. Ain. So he's doing the speech sound. Oh, well done. And if we use our duck hands, we can do them as well. So who can use with duck hands? Go ain. Can everyone do that?
Have a go.
Go. Ain. Oh, you did it so well. You get to hold the puppet. You get the lion. So you have to put your hand in
I did. I'm sorry.
and see if you can move his mouth. Let's see if I can find anyone else. Who thinks they can do shop? Show me the duck hands. Oh, how many were there?
Three.
Oh, there were. Oh my goodness, who should we choose? I didn't see. Did you see somebody fantastic then? Oh, it's another elephant. They must be twins. Could you please look this time? I'm just see who does it fantastically and they can hold on to the puppet. Right, the next one that we're going to do is...
Get your duck hands ready.
Oh, let's think. Cook. How many do you think?
How many?
Try it again. Oh my goodness me, that's amazing.
That was very
Do you
If
astronaut?
you were to tell the alien how to spell in lines, because we haven't taught him the pictures of the three sound yet, we haven't taught him what it would look like, or what it would look like, or what it would look like, he would do this. This is what you're going to be able to do really quickly. Spelling with lines. So look at this.
Everyone watch.
Oh, I'm going to spell with lines, and I'm going to go.
Finish now, guys.
Oh, I'm going to go k-ook. I might even put 1, 2, 3 underneath. Which is the sound for number 3? Which is the sound for number 3? Have a look. Cook. K-ook. Which is the sound for number 3? Who thinks it's a k? And what's the sound for number 1? K. We've got 2 k's there.
Mr.
We've got
Verano.
a k or k. What's the middle one?
Could you hold this for a minute because I need to put this in the rubbish.
My goodness me. So if we were going to spell with lines, we would, let's think, how can I hear? We would use duck hands or our puppets to see how many there are, and then we draw the lines. So cook, ook. And then if we wanted to spell it, we just put the letters on, but let's not do that at the moment. So you tell me, who thinks they could come on the board? Can we do this on the board? Who thinks they could spell... Oh, let me think. Give me a word. I know. Lolly. for lolly?
L-O-L-Y.
Good try.
I can do it a different way.
You think four? Should we duck hands? Ooh, or. Now
Oh.
the li at the end is just a O and an E joined together, so we just split them. So ooh, or, ooh, E. Who can come and do the line on the board? Yes, at the back. What's your name?
Ryan, you've been doing excellent.
R,
listening,
I,
Ryan.
So we don't do the letters, we do what it sounds like. So Ryan, R, I, even though it's probably an E. So what was the word? Lolly. So can you do all, or, E? Oh, but you don't need to do the letters, you're just going to do the lines. Ooh, or, E. Fantastic. And so we know that we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath. And this is spelling with lines. So can you put a 1 there? Was a beautiful 1. Put
Make
a
sure
2
you're
there.
watching, boys.
And put a 3 there. And put a 4 there. Oh, all, E. Give them a clap. Round of applause. Brilliant. Fantastic. Who can tell me very quickly
Good boy.
which sound sits on number 3?
Have a look. Sounds
Don't
it's
call
on
out,
number
just put your hand
3.
up. Don't call out, just put your hand up. Which sound goes on number 3? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, you see, if you switch off, I'm going to choose you. So are you ready? All R, all E. So what's the sound? So what's the sound? Listen. All R, all E. What was the sound on number 3? Listen again. Are you ready? All R, all E. What's the sound on number 3? That's not the sound. What's the sound on number 3?
Oh, good
Wow,
boy.
fantastic. So we should forget the letter names. We're just doing the sounds because we need to teach the aliens. Ooh, ooh, E. It's a, ooh, what's the first one? Ooh, what's the last one? Now, do you know in about 3 weeks when I go the last one, they're going to go E because they'll be so fast. So we need to know the sounds. I don't mind. If you can spell the word, that's brilliant. But I need to know if you know that's O, R, or E. The last one. Okay, so what's the last one?
Oh,
Now,
good
just
girl.
before we do more writing, I've got some books here. It doesn't matter if you can read it. It doesn't matter if it's too easy, too hard, whatever. I just want you to look at it. You might swap it with the person next to you, or you might read it to the person next to you. Just do whatever you might do.
Amy, put your banana in the bag, darling. Max, put your banana skin in the
Let's have a
bag.
And in a minute, I'm going to stop and I'm going to say, tell me something about
Amy,
what you just
over
looked
there,
at.
darling, there's a plastic bag.
I'm going to say, tell me something about what you just looked at. So it might be anything at all that you want to tell me. Anything at all.
Number 7.
After sandpit is hill.
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 Hill. I'm going up the hill. Don't fall.
Grass. The grass was very green after the rain.
Grass in the old.
There is grass.
Grass. And if you're not sure, just put a smiley face again, just so we know you've missed that one out.
After grass is gentle.
Gentle.
Must be gentle with new babies. Gentle.
Oh, there it is. Gentle.
I didn't even see the reflection.
Hold it over so no one copies.
Fast. Next one is huff. You said you will huff and blow your house down. Huff.
Huff.
Is it puff or huff?
Huff.
That's number 10.
What's after huff?
Huff. I'll huff and I'll puff. Huff.
What's after grass?
Huff. Huff.
Grass. Gentle.
Oh, sorry, gentle.
sorry, darling, I'll put you up. Gentle, and then hop.
What's the next one?
And the next one is ducks.
Ducks. I've got my ducks in a row.
Dog.
Dog.
Puppies. What's so funny?
Because he went like that. Made me laugh. I've got 3 dogs. Do you know
Next
one
one
of them is
is-
a spelling dog?
Whip.
Whip.
What?
The cowboy used the whip.
Number 13.
Yes, if you're naughty, we'll get the whip out.
It'll kill me.
It's hidden in the cupboard. Whip.
And so whip your head.
Dolphin. Dolphin.
Is it your favourite?
animal.
It's one of my favourites. Just do it however you want. Doesn't matter if we're right or wrong. Dolphin.
Dolphin. Do your best sounding.
Dolphin.
Dolphin.
Oh, the dog.
This is dolphin.
It's really important in Prep and Year 1 that we're forming the letters correctly. I'm not bothered about style, about calligraphy, about, what have you. It's much more about forming the letters correctly, about flowing, and so that you can basically write neatly in a uniform fashion, the right heights and whatever. But it's more about flowing and having the direction right. If you start at the bottom of letters, it's very, very difficult to flow. And a lot of these children, as you see in the clip, are forming their letters incorrectly. And again, this is why it's such a good idea to video. You can't take everything in, but when you video things, you can go back and think, oh, right, okay, when he's doing his N, he's starting at the bottom and going up and what have you, instead of down, up and over. That's why we have a phrase in Prep and Year 1, so that if you say the phrase, then you've got to form the letter correctly. So on the next activity, what we're going to do is we're going to tell them that we're going to say some sentences. I'm going to tell you what I want you to write, and then you write it. And we take it sentence by sentence. Now, when I did this with these children, I then realised that we got about halfway through, and that was as far as all of the children could go. So there wasn't any point just going through the whole assessment because the children just weren't able to spell those words. So they've got used to, if we asked them then to write, do some independent writing, some of them will write a lot, but they're writing the words they know. They're writing a lot of repetitive stuff that they've done before, and so they can keep flowing. But when we actually do a dictation here, and it's scaffolded according to the code, so it's SSP green, purple, yellow, blue, so the sentences reflect the SSP levels. So I can see that these children are working at green or purple with the dictation in particular, because the dictation is their spelling. So although some of them might be doing better on their reading, their spelling is definitely at the green and purple level. Now, one of the wonderful things about this assessment, the whole class assessments and the individual screening, is that we're picking apart every single part. So we're able to get a really good view of each child, every individual child. And then because we use this, we can see which SSP level they're working at. So next week we'll start the My Speedy SSP station work. And basically what we're going to start from next week, when we've got that baseline, we know exactly where every child is starting. So next week what we'll be doing is every child will work at their level. So if we've got a child who should be starting on the yellow level, they'll start at the yellow level. So no child is having to wait for other children. Doing this whole class activity, I will always do certain things with the whole class because we are a whole class, we're working together. However, how I see it is that it's almost like I'm tutoring each individual child. It's just that I've got 20 odd at the same time. So it's differentiated teaching for each individual child, and that's why it's so important to know exactly where every child is, and that's why it's also really hard to meet the needs of every child if you're following a curriculum, especially if the curriculum says do this, then do that. You just can't do that because you can't meet the needs of individual children. So I would really like us to really look at what we're expecting of children when we're planning a curriculum, or when we're saying, right, this is what we're doing in term 1, this is what we're doing in week 1, week 2, whatever. It's just, that's not teaching to the child. What we're doing here, and what you hopefully get from the clips, is that we are intensively seeing how every single child is processing information, so that we can help them with every single part of the reading and spelling process. And this means that after only 3 weeks, I would imagine, of this with this class, with the class, it doesn't matter where we're starting. In 3 weeks, most of these children are just going to skyrocket, because and that's why I'm desperate to do these assessments this week, because even within a few days, these children are going to have got it, and I really want to have that baseline of where they started, so I can really show you how far they've progressed. Now, if you go to places like Finland, whatever, this is exactly what they're doing. What they're doing is they would say, right, well, let's have a look at where this class is. Let's have a look at where these individuals are. What I'm going to do is support their teacher. So the first 3 weeks or so, we're literally going to get them all reading and spelling really well. It doesn't seem very long, 3 weeks, but because SSP is so intensive, and because we're teaching to the individual child, and because I'm lucky enough to have 2 hours every day with this class, because this teacher is so open to new ideas and whatever, that she's allowing me to come in and do this, which is just amazing. So we can really show what the effect is when we're teaching to children and not a curriculum. Now, after 3 weeks, when we've really got that spelling and reading going, that's when we can start focusing on the genre and the really looking at the punctuation and the grammar, and just getting really a much higher level of expectations of what we can do. But to start off with, I see it as let's get them reading and spelling first. Your SSP Speedy Screener, this is for year 1 and above. There's a separate one for preps. It's a different ball game for preps, but let's say that we've got year 1s and above, any age level. We're looking at their code recognition. It says code knowledge here. Really, it's just the recognition. Let's see if they can look at these pictures of speech sounds, and they know what speech sound it could represent. Now, what I'm expecting is that the children, to start off with, are going to give you basic phonics. So they're going to look at the S and say S, and that they don't say it could be S or it could be sh, and what have you. So I'm expecting a very basic level. I'm also expecting, from what I've seen, that they aren't really going to go past the purple level. So when it gets to the yellow level, when you're looking at your ch and your sh and your and your a and e and your I and what have you, that's when we'll start to get a little bit fuzzy. Now, this isn't necessarily because the teachers weren't teaching phonics past a certain stage. It can just be because most teachers in Australia have to follow a set curriculum. If you're in Queensland, a lot of schools are using C2C and whatever, and that literally means that it's this week you do this, the next week. So if a child's missed it, they've been away, they don't ever get a chance to come back. The thing with SSP is that you're working at the child's level. If they're away from school for 2 weeks, they don't miss 2 weeks of work. They then carry on from where they were 2 weeks ago. And it also means that parents can do it at home. Everybody knows where the children are and where they've got to get to. So, we can't make any assumptions about why children aren't understanding certain things. But what we should do is have a commitment that we're going to say, do you know what? Before children come into year 2, all of this code that you see in front of you here, they're going to know straight off, really confidently, really, they're going to look at the G and they're going to say, oh, it could be J or it could be G. They're going to look at a C and say, oh, it could be a S or a K, and what have you. So they're going to know all different options. And what they'll start to do is they'll look at it and they'll give you an example of words that it's in. So that they might say, if they double O, they might say, oh, it could be an O like a look, or it could be an oo like moon, or it could be an like blood, etc. So they're really confident and really clear. That's why we do My Speedy SSP. That's why we do that. So they're really sure about what it is. However, this is phonics in isolation really. So, but they're confident, but also so that they can make sense of it, so that they know if it's OA and it's in the middle of a B and a T, but oat, they're going to work it out. If it's an OW and they see it after the C, they know it's cow, or it could be co, but it's actually cow because cow is the word. So we're just going further than the phonics so that it actually makes sense. Because what's the point in learning these? The point in learning these is so that our brains can instantly recognize and make sense of it. What could it be? So that when we're reading and when we're spelling, it's just so much easier. Because that's what good readers and good spellers do. It's an instant recognition. It's an instant putting together the jigsaw puzzle. Now, when you're marking this, I would probably put a circle around if they say what I would think of as a main one. So s, at, p, I, n, d, g, o, k, k, e, r, h, b, etc. I would put a little line next to it if they hesitate or if they say it incorrectly. A m instead of Now, we're all guilty of that sometimes, so I might say to them, did you really mean ma? So that it gives them a chance to say it again. This isn't about catching them out, let them self-correct. But put little notes. But the best thing I think for all these assessments is video it. Just video it, because you've got that on record. It's easy to see. It's easy for somebody else to understand. They don't have to understand your shorthand. So I would always say video it. Don't have to share it with anyone, but you've got it. And actually, if parents want to say, oh, well, I don't agree with that, or what is she doing, or you can actually show them the video. It's far easier.
If you know any of these sounds, so if I told you that was a yeah, so what's this one? Well done.
T, P, J.
Now that's actually an A. I put like that. That's how so you might do that as an A. I still do that as an A. I'm just ready to go on to the next word. So what's this one?
N.
Yep.
M.
Is it a M or a do you think? Well done.
Now, this next child is probably the top of the class at the moment for code recognition. So I just want to show you her. And what she also does, and I would imagine, I haven't checked yet, but I would imagine she's actually a really good reader. What she's actually doing is a higher level of what she's doing is she's doing actually what you would probably do. So when she comes to a sandpit she's not sure of, she will think of it in a word to then work out what it is. So, for example, if she sees the OA and she thinks, oh, what is that? She'll think, where have I seen it before? Oh, I've seen it in boat. Boat. It must be an O. And that's what you and I will do if we're readers. So with respect to her reading and her phonics in isolation, she's actually doing really, really well. However, when we then come to look at her writing or her spelling, not so good. And that's because at the moment she's actually got all the skills she needs, but she's not bringing them all together. So that's what this child, once she's learnt the SSP spelling strategy, we've just tweaked a few things. This child is just going to fly.
Oh, ready? Right, so could you just video this a second? Look at yours. Okay, all we're going to do really, really quickly, tell me the sound. So this is a picture of a sound. What's the sound, do you think? And if you think it's any more than one, then tell me. So what do you think this one is? If you're not sure, just say, that's it. If you're not sure, just say pass.
I. O.
did you work out that was O? What did you do?
I know how to spell boat, and it has O.
Brilliant.
And I said boat, and it says O. That's why.
Fantastic. That's brilliant because that's what readers do, but non-readers. This is so interesting because I bet her reading's really good. Her code knowledge is good for the phonics and isolation. But then when she comes to write this, I put this on the board. My favourite part of the holiday was. And then she had to do this independent writing. So I thought she would have written a lot. But she's actually not using her knowledge in her spelling, in her writing. I went to with. So the fact that she's even written that not fluently. My dad. And feed the dolphins. Whereas if she uses the SSP spelling strategy, because of her knowledge, she'll very quickly actually be spelling correctly, because she would put it, which you can do. She'll try the different one, know which one looks right, but at the moment her spelling recall, she's just not getting it all together. So she will do really well once we've actually joined the dots.
Because she's probably a reader, she also has the skills to read back what she's written and know that it's not grammatically correct. So these assessments are really important to break apart the pieces. In a normal phonics test, if you like, where you're checking her recognition, she would probably have got, an A plus whatever, because although she's only giving one representation. So what I would expect of her capabilities, in a few short weeks she'll be going, G or J when she sees the G and what have you. So it shows, even though she's got this code knowledge, she's not putting it all together. Now, using made-up words is a really good way to see if they recognise the code and can blend, because they're not drawing on any word recognition or whatever. They're actually having to use those skills needed. The skills that we have as good readers is that if I was to give you a difficult word that you've never seen before, you would still be able to work it out. And even if you worked it out and you still weren't sure if you were pronouncing it correctly or what it meant, you would be able to work it out. What we actually do is we decode it, and then we're recalling, information. So supposing I'd heard of the place called Mudgerybar, but I'd never seen it in print. Then I go and I see a sign and I might go, Mudgerybar. So if I've actually already heard Mudgerybar, then my brain would think, oh, hold on, Mudgerybar. No, that's Mudgerybar. So I would change how I've said it, and that's actually why your GPS will often give you the wrong pronunciation of the place, because it's going on a computerized system of, what's the best bet for this combination of letters. We call them sandpigs. What's the best? So your GPS might say, turn right for Newark. And then we go, it's not Newark, it's Newark. So, and that's what we're trying to do with the SSP approach. It's constantly think, okay, well, here's print, but how does it relate to our spoken word? And actually, it can also change because of our accents. So what we're doing here is we're saying, right, well, to be able to make sense of it, we need those underlying foundational skills. So when we're talking about nonsense words and people are complaining about nonsense words or whatever, there's a real reason for doing this, and that's to give children the best opportunity to be able to make sense of what they're decoding, even if they've never seen it before.
So let's just have a look. So we're just checking this. So we were just checking, so you went all lag. So I'm just talking to myself at the moment. So if the sounds are right, so that was is. If the sounds are right, we put that.
So it was sounded d-r-st, but then the word given was completely different.
And your number.
That means it not. Okay, so let's have a look. So where do we get up to? What about this one? Good try. Now, what are the sounds in there?
He's going.
Well done. So when you sounded that was brilliant. Then what's the word?
Lamb.
Good try. What's this one? try. What about this
Think how easy it would be if this child knew that TCH is just ch, z, o, ch.
one? Oops.
Ducks.
Good try. Just put
Ducks
with.
are on
What about this one?
pond. Actually, copy it carefully.
Buzz, do you think?
D-U.
What about this one?
K-N-S. Remember what Miss Emma said? There's never any letters left over.
Good try. Well done.
So because the student is trying to think, oh, what word could it be? Rather than first of all, what are the sounds? Follow the sounds, blend and say the word, and then try and make sense of it. When I actually, put the pencil next to the all, then this student does go sp, all, it, but is still on spit. This ordering, using the sounds and being really clear is really important.
What about this one?
Huff. I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down. Huff.
Well tried. What about this one?
Huff.
Good. Yes, fantastic. Good try.
Frog. Frog on log.
This one. Well tried. This one. Well done. What about this one? Well done. And thank you for saying don't know. I'd rather you say don't know because you know what, we're going to learn all these, so it doesn't matter if you know any of them or you don't.
This is why we go through the SSP levels systematically. They build up on their code knowledge so that, for example, when they get to the yellow level, they're learning the SH, sh, and the CH, ch, or it could also be sh. They might be learning the AI or ain. If the students are looking carefully at the word from the left to right and recognising those sound picks quickly, then they can decode the word even if it's a nonsense word. So if they're not understanding that it could be for arrot or for arrot, they can't try that word. Let's check if they can hear the word. So if I say at, can they hear that it's sat? Ch, ip, s. Can they hear it's chips? House. Can they hear it's house? Ap, e. Can they hear it's happy? Stop. Can they hear it stop? Let's have a look at another child.
Okay, so can you read these words? Now give me the sounds first and then tell me the word. So what's the word?
Leg.
And some of them are made up words. What's this one?
Is. Fizz.
What about this one?
Zach, have you done this one? Next one is spin.
Wax. Wax.
Four.
The next word, flog, is going to be really important for me because I want to know if she does say f, ul, or g. Because even if she might say flog, because she's reading that, if she's able to split the word as f, ul, og, then I know her spelling is also going to be effective. If she says full og, it just means that I know I've got to teach her that when we split for spelling, then we split those blends, f, ul, og, so that all the segmentation manipulation is really clear and really clean.
Not the number 4.
Og.
I've got
Frog.
4. Lunch. Yes, darling.
Giraffe.
It's alright, go to the next. You can turn it over if you need
Dress.
Boys back. Next one is ants. Next one, you doing your own, Bellis? Cow. Cow now. Brown cow.
Oh, thrip. Yes, well done.
Cow now. Brown cow. Good boy.
Yow.
Doing a great job, Michael. So the next one is gentle. And then ducks.
Thrick.
Hair. And Mole said he's going to have green hair.
Zolch.
Well done.
And again, once this child sees the ch spelling cloud and sees there's a TCH and a CH and what have you in there, then very quickly she would z-och, because she would recognise that TCH is one picture for the speech sound ch. So she wouldn't be trying to make sense of z-ot ch, because z-ot ch just can't be a word. So it just shows me that she just doesn't know enough of the code. But again, I think this little girl is a good reader. So it's just a case of bringing it all together.
Yelf.
That sounds like a funny word. What's this one?
Buzz.
Next one.
Give me the sounds first.
This is a bit longer. Perfect.
Lit.
Guys are doing a perfect job. Perfect.
What's this one?
I don't know what I did on the last two ones. When she went buzz, I really should have said, no, give me the sounds. So she would probably have gone baz and corrected herself. I don't know why I put a tick underneath split, because she actually didn't sound it correctly. She gave all the sounds in it, but in random orders. And that's why within SSP, we get them to clearly put the lines underneath, put the numbers underneath, and it makes them, their brains really, it really helps with their segmenting, which is their ordering. So making sure they go sp or it, split. A lot of children who haven't used a really good system with the code, and they're used to more whole language, she's looking quickly, what does it look like? What word does it look like that I know? And ended up with spill. So it's kind of, she's just looking at it quickly, instead of let's look left to right, follow the sound, say the word, which is so quick and easy. Whereas if you're looking guess, and if there were picture clues, illustrations around, she'd have probably looked at those first. It takes the brain away from what it needs to do. And when the brain doesn't instantly recognise a word, then it needs to go from left to right, follow the sound, say the word. And this child is perfectly capable of doing that.
Put in pin.
What's this one?
And shan. Chill.
Good boy, perfect.
When.
He's trying to escape.
Forgot.
Well done.
Now this is really a typical finding for me with sort of 7-year-olds. In the current system, this is when they haven't done SSP in prep in year 1, because they're actually learning phonics so slowly that you might have a whole session on, they're learning phonics so slowly and also out of context. It's not really meaningful. So they might recognise A, B, K up to Z, and they might recognise, say, SH, they might have done sh, and they might have done CH as a representation for ch, and they might have done a TH with one representation. But they've only gone to a certain level, and then because they're also using PM readers, which doesn't scaffold the code and doesn't encourage the brain to really understand, not every brain, some children you can give them what you want, but a lot of the children on PM readers, again, it doesn't help them with their spelling, and it doesn't actually help them become really fluent readers, because they're doing a lot of guessing and memorizing. And you can see this, that because, you know, the spit, spill, you know, it's just a guess what it could be. And the people who create PM readers and other readers that are based on whole language will encourage children to do that. They'll say, guess what it is, look at the picture, the illustration, what do you think it is, what do you think the word is? Or just have a look at the first sound, so she'll just look at this and then guess, or have a look for words in the word or whatever. All of these are called whole language strategies, and actually is a lot of work for the brain. It takes 5 minutes to actually get the right word, whereas if you actually just keep it really simple, just follow the sounds, say the word, you don't need to look at anything else or guess or whatever, just follow the sounds, look at the word, tell me what it is, then it's quick and easy, and it's very simple then for the child to say, yes, but I don't know what this picture is, as in I don't know if this, you know, if they look at the PH on its own, perhaps they might say, I don't know what this is a picture of. That's a picture of f, okay, f, it and fin. So we're following the sounds, say the words, and if they can't follow the sounds, it's just purely because they don't know that part of the code. So we teach it to them. Okay, so let's hear this time here, if she can tell me what the word is, if she's actually following the sounds, blending it into the word. And I'm going to cover it up because I did actually video her face, but so just listen carefully to what she says.
Okay, give me the word. Sat. Sat.
Sat.
Chips.
Trip.
Chips.
Chip.
Yes. House.
House.
Happy.
Happy.
Stop.
Stop.
Amazing.
So I made a note of what she did actually say the first time with chips, but I gave her another chance because to be honest, on most of these children, it's just that they're not used to this system. So as soon as I said it again, she heard it. Brilliant, move on.
Yeah, got your little smiley face. Look at that. Great blending. It's called blending when you do that.
Like an astronaut.
Okay, tell me the first sound in this word, fat. The first sound in cot.
Next one, darling. That's
Cut.
The last sound in house. The last sound in clock.
Pardon?
The last sound in clock.
key.
K.
Well done. What's the middle sound in cheese?
Lose the car.
E.
What's the middle sound in tree?
E.
Well done.
If I ask this child the same question next week, tree, what's the middle sound in tree? She'll say because instead what she'll be doing is she'll be splitting it as t, e, tree. 3 sounds, is the middle one. What you'll find with children, if you let them say og and count it as fur and do consonant blends, if I ask a child to give me frog without the they'll say og because they think fur is one sound. They don't say fog, so they're not clearly identifying where those sounds are and splitting them. And this is what can make children add sounds, take away sound, miss sounds out when they're reading and they're spelling, because they're not clear about how each word, the speech sounds in the words, link with the sound picks on paper. So we're just going to make it really clear for every child, even if every child doesn't need this nitpicking. Now I'm actually going to show the face of this little one because I think we've actually got media permission, but she's a little sweetheart. She's picking it up so quickly already, and this is again why I have to have the assessments as early as possible, because how quickly these kids pick this up is just amazing. So
Tell me the sound that you can hear that comes last in these words. House. Clock. Well done. This time, see if you can tell me the middle sound. So the one that's in the middle. Okay?
That's going to be tricky.
Cheese.
E.
Oh, thought you said it would be tricky. Good girl.
Like dinosaurs would do. Turkey.
Tree.
What's she bringing? How much?
Let's do it. E. So what's in the middle? Good girl. All right, this time you've got to tell me how many sounds are in these words. And you can use your duck hands to help you. Frog.
I think it's very unfair if someone's got $50.
Free.
Okay, look at this way.
Pin.
Free.
I heard some beautiful talking then to each other. And do you know that's one of the things we're going to do too? We're going to learn to really
Okay, I'll talk to you
talk
later.
about things and ask questions and all sorts of things.
Lolly.
Well, so that you're not just talking to the teachers, you're talking to each other as well. You are a chatterbox, and we want to use that. I love chatterboxes. As long as you're not
Train.
talking.
And do it out loud if you
Let's
like.
have a look. I wonder if his teeth are going to fall out. It's not fair, shouted Henry again, and he yanked on his teeth. He pulled and he pushed, and he tweaked and he tugged.
Black.
Oh, and do you know, I get very, very sad if people aren't listening.
4.
He tugged, but they would not budge.
Good girl. Stamp.
If I do sounds, you need to tell me what it is. Would not budge. Budge.
5.
Good
His
girl.
teeth were super
Green.
to his gut-uppins. Well, so you see, you can understand speech sounds now. Why me?
Good girl.
Moaned Henry,
Sitting.
stomping on the petunias. Why am I the only one who hasn't lost a tooth? Horrid Henry sat on his
Perfect.
fork
Good
and
girl.
scowled.
All right, this.
Now, if you use duck hands, not only does it help the child really clearly split them, it also helps you see where they're splitting them. So frog, she said 3, probably because she did frog. And if she did her duck hands, we would see that she's going fur. And then we can actually just say, you sure fur? Or do you want to have it as fur? Because the fur is just blended together. Frog. But using the duck hands helps the child, but it also helps you with your assessment. The manipulation of phonemes is usually the most difficult skill. So asking children, if I say tap, and I say it without the t, what's the new word, or what can you hear? Or if I take away f from the word rat, what would I say? From rat. Explain it a few times, and if you want to know whether the child understands but just can't do it, or whether they just don't understand what you're asking. Even after a week, the children are going to understand the terminology and be able to do this just very quickly. But this is the most difficult skill, so we want to really check how the children are doing with this one. This child's already got good phonemic awareness, which actually means this child will do okay in any system. But for me, what this means is that this child has got such a good foundation that she can just be doing so much. So I would expect in this activity that as soon as she understands what we're asking of her, then she's going to get it very, very quickly.
If I take away from rat, what's the new word?
Cat.
The word to.
If I
Cat.
listen carefully, if I take the away from rat, what would I be left with?
I like when you do
Good girl.
And we could put cat.
If we had to put a new letter, we could, couldn't we? What about if I took the away from rabbit?
Henry sat on his fork and scowled.
Good girl. That would be a crazy word, wouldn't it?
He was sick and
What about if I take away the...
Habit. Habit.
That's a rhyming word. What about if I took the away from frog?
Rog.
What would it be?
Rog.
Good girl. What about if I took the from fluff?
Luff.
Good girl.
What?
What about if I take the t from stop?
Stop.
And the t from train?
Rain.
Good girl.
It'll be like rain.
What happens if I change the t in tap to a s?
What was it again?
What happens if I change the t in tap to a s?
Sap.
Good girl. What
Like
happens
tree sap.
like tree sap? Good girl. What happens if I change the p in flip
tell the person
T.
next to you what you think Pirate Henry is going to do to Peter.
What happens if I change the ooh in slow to t?
Slow.
Ideas.
What if I change the k in duck to a ooh?
Dull.
Good girl.
Her brain just hasn't been trained to do this quickly and have a really systematic approach to reading and spelling. So it's a lot of guesswork. It's a lot of answering a question quickly with what it might be and having a guess instead of working it out. If she uses her duck hands, and if she went flip, so give me flip and change the p into a t. And what we want with duck hands as well is not just randomly doing the duck hands. We're actually going to teach them to go left to right with the duck hands. So we're following the sounds left to right. F, or, it. Okay, now you imagine we're changing the p to a t, so they can actually almost visualize those speech sounds going from left to right, getting the order right so they can go f or ip. Right, well, I'm changing that p to a t, and it's almost like reading it in the air using your duck hands. F or it. Flit. This child's going to find this so easy once she starts doing that, and it's just a system. It's just a tool that we use that anyone can do. You don't have to buy anything. Anyone can do it, but it really helps the brain. All sorts of reasons why rhyming is wonderful, and within the SSP approach we do so much rhyming. You can see with the cloud poems and what have you, and if you hear me in the classroom, every 2 seconds I'm thinking of a rhyme. Every time I hear 2 words that rhyme, listen to that, and then we put, and I'm going to get the children to create poems and silly rhyme time and whatever, so it's just invaluable.
Which of these words rhyme? Hot, cot, pat.
Who's still eating your snack? Right now. Who's sitting up? I need someone to do a job for me. I need someone to do a job.
Which of these 2 rhyme? Fish, pants, dish.
What is this?
Who's sitting up?
Next one.
Stretch up. Stretch down.
Fat,
Stretch up.
fit,
Stretch down.
picked.
Right, now just before I do something, actually, I'm going to teach you something. Okay.
Fit, pick.
Good girl. Can you tell me a word that rhymes with pin?
Why is there going on the table?
Right, ready? Watch. What is it?
Fin, king.
That.
Fin and pin?
Oh, no, sorry, I did
Does that rhyme?
Right, hold on. Wait.
Yeah, fin.
Wait.
Good. What's a word that rhymes with sat? Ryan.
It's a stamp.
What word rhymes with pop?
Clap. Ear. Too many. Ear. Nose.
Pop.
Nose.
Top.
What was it? It was a clap.
Well done, darling. Good job.
Clap. Ear.
You're
nose.
done.
Nose. At any point, I'm
I
going
think
to
most
say.
of it was right.
I think you did an awesome job.
What you can hear in the background is we do a lot of things for working memory and for engaging the children, making things multisensory. We might do visualization have some visualization strategies where the children got to close their eyes and they've got to go through basically a story, remembering what they see on that side, what they see on that side, what happens when they walk forward and what have you. The thing that I'm doing there is literally we're following a pattern of, I think it was stamp on the table. So stamp, clap, touch your nose, touch your ear, touch your ear. Then we did a shake and what have you. And we'll build that up and build that up so that we're remembering a whole system of about 20 different actions within a couple of weeks. So all these things that we're doing, it's just getting the brain really jazzed up and active and stimulated and getting every child engaged. And often even just doing these things when you can see children are perhaps getting a little bit, they're ready for the next activity. SSP is about keeping it short and sharp and having the children engaged, whether you're working for 2 hours, for 5 hours straight, which of course we wouldn't do, but it means that you're knowing your children and knowing when to stop, change it up, jazz it up, stop, let's go and read go and choose a story, let's stop and have our brain food, let's, whatever we're doing, jazz it up and keep it going so that all the children are engaged. Assessments are so important, but you can see she was starting to get tired, and that's understandable, and we're explaining to them at the beginning, this is just something we've got to do because we would need to know how you're, where you are at the moment, because we're going to learn it all, but we just need to know where you are now. But that first week, it can be quite, sort of, some of the activities are longer than we would normally do for the children. So you make sure you get your assessments done in the first week so that you really see where you are. You've got your baseline. You've checked all the basic foundational skills for reading and spelling, for the decoding and encoding. The decoding being a vital skill children have to be able to move to fluency and comprehension. And encoding skills means they can spell any word without having to memorize it, without having to have a spelling test and learn it for that day and then they've forgotten the following week. Encoding really is about understanding spelling so that you can actually spell it in lots of different ways using different combinations of the code. And then because we're reading and spelling simultaneously, the child can then look and think, oh, that's the right one. They recognize it. Now, the good thing with these assessments is that you're doing them for a purpose. It's not just we've got to do it and file it away. You're doing it so you know your children and you know where to move. Now, with these Year 2 children, what I'm going to do is we're going to start on Speedy SSP for the green level next week. Even though most of them are outside of the green level, we're going to do it just to get used to this systematic approach for Speedy SSP, which is about a 25-minute session in the morning, which is just reading and spelling brain training. But we will have these assessments to know exactly where to start each child. Most of these children are starting on purple because for their code recognition, their blending, their segmenting and what have you, they're on the purple level. Even though they might be on the yellow level, say for reading, we need to make sure that we're actually just ticking all the boxes making sure every single skill they need, they're getting. Now, the fact that they haven't got all of these skills when they're entering Year 2, because we actually want in the future for children to enter Year 2 independent readers who choose to read. We want them to be able to be really good readers and independent writers. So when they enter Year 2, they can exceed the curriculum because they're no longer learning to read and spell. They're actually able to focus on content and develop. The fact that these children aren't at that level isn't a reflection of the teaching that's gone before. It's much more a reflection of what is currently being expected of teachers in Prep and Year 1, which to me is being set a lot of the time not by people who teach Prep and Year 1. So what I would like people to do is just start talking more about what we can do in Prep and Year 1 to not only inspire children to love learning, but to get them set up so when they move into Year 2, they are reading and spelling confidently. But we can't criticise teachers for doing what they're being asked to do. We need to look at a much bigger picture. And to do this, really, one of the key ingredients are forward-thinking school leaders who lead a team into the future of teaching. And that's what SSP is all about. It's about looking at the brain, looking at neuroscience, and just changing what we think of with regards to the education system and how we educate our students.